there's quite a lot to mention as to what happened on this day. I'm reviewing it a few days later. I could see the weight on that barbell, and I'm thinking of the deadlifts that I attempted on this weight, but I'm doing something at the moment. So what I think I'll do is I'll finish off what I'm doing and then I'll come back to it. I'll come back to reviewing this. Yeah, a few hours later, here I am, getting back to it, just laying in bed as I have been for a couple of days, including today, that is. But anyway, I did get on with quite a bit. I did, and I think when I get back to doing gym sessions starting from tomorrow, I would be getting back into way more than I would have otherwise done. I've, like Stephen Covey would say, have sharpened the sword a bit. I've been going through the exercises, or some of the questions rather, in the Transform Your Body, Transform Your Life book, particularly the identifying the muck section on page 15, or overriding the chaos section on page 17, and also, as I'm about to do now, the overriding the chaos section on page 19. There's an exercise, there's a whole load of questions, which is the why behind the why. And when I say a whole load of questions, I'm talking about why is X outcome important to you, why is that important to you, and so on. Yeah, going back to this session in particular, I was looking at this and I was thinking that this is what I'd want to achieve. I'd want to be able to deadlift that weight. And with the maths in mind, on the premise that I am correct in saying that the barbell weighs actually 20 kg, or it actually weighs 20 kg, I was looking at a 110 kg weight, with the barbell being 20 kg, there being two sets of 20 kg plates on each side, which is 80 kg, 20 plus 80 is 100, and then one set of 5 kg plates on each side, 100 plus 10 is 110. So with that in mind, I was looking at it and thinking that it was just 100 kg at first. So I went out my way to give it a go, and I thought I couldn't do it. I did put my all in. I really did give it a good go. I did try, but yeah, it didn't happen. At least I didn't do it at that time. But that doesn't mean that it's impossible, as I, in my mind, could be potentially implying. But I would like to explicitly clarify that I don't think that that's the case. If I want to go out my way as a physically abled individual to lift said weight, which in this context is 110 kg, then I can do just that. However, I think I shouldn't be too hasty with going out my way to quote unquote achieve certain numbers with lifts, because I can permanently injure my body doing that, especially if I'm solely focused on wanting to achieve weight without care for form and without care for enjoying the fact that I'm doing it, enjoying all of the different aspects that there could be in fitness. At the moment, especially at the time of creating all of these images for this log, which I wanted to eventually overview, I was more so just caring about hitting certain numbers. Even listen to the wording, it doesn't, in my opinion, sound any fun. It doesn't sound like any fun. Doesn't seem like I would treat it with care, it being my pursuit of fitness. Yeah, I could class it as overall health. It's a part of it, perhaps, but I just think it's just fitness based and also aesthetics based, because I definitely have been lifting for looks. Definitely, I would look at my abs. I've been wanting it for years, or it being able to see my abs. I've been wanting that for years. I've got to a point where, for the second time in my life, have been able to achieve said aim, said goal. And yeah, I personally think that there's more to fitness and just life in general than just looks and just pretending that I care about performance, or rather going out my way to pursue performance through the performance indicator of a number like the 110 kilogram worth of weight with the barbell and the weight plates. That is an indicator, but there's more enjoyment to be had by focusing on more than just increasing weight with lifts, I think. And in order to pursue that, I would like to go out my way to go into the world of, as I call it, into the world of how all of this works. I'm particularly talking about biomechanics, form, for example, maybe even like physics and the degrees of which you can, which maybe your hand is or your arm is stretched out from your body when going out of your way to pick up the weight, as I'm going out my way to do, to try and make sense of what I'm trying to say, to explain it as articulately as I can. But yeah, there, in my mind, even as I smile at the idea, is more, there's more fun to be had than just thinking about numbers. So I'm going to go out my way to go and pursue that fun, to enjoy myself, because I think it's about time. I think I owe it to myself, in the words of Akash. I owe it to myself that to go and allow myself to finally have fun and further remove myself from going out my way to hunt for results in the form of numbers that are easily quantifiable, to be fair, because of lack of gratitude for my current life situation or for my current views on self, i.e. self-image, my views on how I'd look at myself when, how I'd view myself when looking at myself in the mirror. Predominantly without any clothes on, excluding my boxers. But today, on the day I'm making this voiceover, which is the 26th of December, 2023, or so society says anyway, I actually not only took photos of my physique in lighting, but I took photos of myself in clothes as well, because in my mind I thought that doing that would help me further develop taking care of my appearance, because the clothes I wear and the state of the clothes I wear, how clean and fresh these clothes I wear are, is just as much a part of my appearance as my looks are. That's how I consciously go out my way to present myself to the world when I step out the front door, regardless of whether I'd go out my way to realise that, or regardless of whether I'd care about that or understand that on a daily basis. I say, like, I'm saying this like what I'm saying is fact rather than opinion, and no, it's just, I would like to explicitly clarify that what I'm saying is subjective, not objective. But yeah, I think regardless, going out my way to take photos both without and with my clothes on would help me further take care of my appearances. Taking photos of myself without my clothes on is to help me take care of my appearance and to carry on maintaining a positive self-image, basically to carry on liking what I'd see in the mirror, particularly with being able to see my abs, as I'd, in my mind, at least at this point, think that I associated self-worth with being able to see my abs, as in I couldn't value myself as much as I otherwise would have if I was unable to see my abs, basically. Yeah, I don't think that things have to be that way, because that's just subjective. It's no more than an opinion. I don't have to attack my sense of self-image and self-worth by not when I don't or when I can't see my abs, when my body fat percentage would be at a high enough percentage to not be able to see them. I'm at a point where my body fat percentage is low enough to be able to see my lower abs, which is what I went out of my way to recently pursue. And in doing so, I think I've achieved way more than just that, honestly. I think I've achieved an ability to be able to go out my way and actually achieve a sense of satisfaction, of a higher level at least, a higher sense of pleasure and achievement from what I do on a daily basis, which I'm just about experiencing today. I'm learning how to do that today, like even actively through doing so-and-so XYZ thing, like the transform your body, transform your life questions that I've been talking about this entire video. Anyway, yeah, I like where things are going at this lower body fat percentage compared to the body fat percentage that I had at 5 months ago, for example, during July, when I had a pot belly and my BMI was, I don't even know what, but I was 90 kg and at an overweight BMI, and I think my physique was a physical representation of that BMI reading actually being accurate. I definitely have no regrets with going back to being where I'm at now with my body fat percentage. However, I do think that there is more to life in general than just having a specific or pursuing a specific body fat percentage. However, anyway, I will leave that at that for now, as my objective is to go out my way to assess what's happened during this day, which was last Thursday, on the day that I'm filming this, as it's Tuesday, the 26th of December 2023 or so, society says anyway. Yeah, I did the regular 2 hours. I went out of my way to go do that, as I planned to do a 2-hour session 4 times a week. This time round, I did a little bit of bench press. I, in the end, actually preferred using the converging press or converging chest press. And yeah, because of the setup with the bench press, I think it's a bit dodgy, not in terms of the sturdiness of the equipment, but because my right arm would be closer to, my right side would be closer to the spotter bars than my left side when I'd be trying to do a bench press on that specific set of equipment. So I just thought that I'd be better off going out my way to train my chest with a converging chest press when I tried it. Hence, I took images of that to remind myself of that, to make that note. So when it comes to going out my way to train my chest, I can do the converging chest press with the machine I went and found. And I could also do like I practiced. I don't think I took any photos, but I could also use dumbbells to do flat dumbbell press on a bench, and like how I've done in the past, like when I was wearing the green t-shirt, I can do incline bench. I can go out my way to do holds at the top and lift one dumbbell up and down at the same time, with holding a while I'd be holding one arm up while lifting the other arm down and up to do a set of reps there. I'm now thinking of programming my workouts actually. I'm thinking of like how I've been wanting to go in deeper with my my workouts. Just going into the world of fitness a bit deeper than I already have through, in fact, working within the fitness industry. Yeah, I made that happen. I went out of my way to get the qualifications. I now have my level 2. fitness or gym instructing qualifications. I'm soon on the way to finally getting the level 3 personal training qualifications and getting, qualification wise, one step deeper into the fitness industry. But I think in my pursuit of financial riches, I'm just enjoying the work I do more. I think the make and break wouldn't actually be going from the level 2 to level 3 as I'm about to very soon, but instead actually going from the level 3 to the level 4, even though with the personal training providers that I'm with actually costs half the price. It costs about 1.3 grand to get the level 3, to purchase the level 3 course under my personal training providers. However, if I remember correctly, it's around £650 to pay for the level 4 separately. That's excluding the purchase that I had to make for the level 2 to then purchase the 1.3 grand personal training qualifications. Yeah, that might be make and break between really enjoying what I'm doing and also being able to make bank with the work I'd be doing more with the specific source of income of me providing PT sessions and also group classes that I might do with this place that I plan to work at. At the moment, with where I currently work, I think it was and still is good enough. It's a place where I can apply what I'd learn when I'd be going out my way to go deeper into the world of the fitness industry and just fitness in general and health. I think that is the resources and the people are solid enough to then be able to move on to something that I'd like even more. I very honestly, I do like my colleagues a lot. And I definitely, without a doubt, like the people that I coach way more often than I don't. There are going to be some people who, for X, Y, Z reasons, you don't like, and for X, Y, Z reasons you do like. Well, in my opinion anyway. When I say you, I mean someone, not necessarily the person who's listening. That I can't speak on. And even for me, when I might look back at this, I might think of it differently. So even for when I look back at this, I can't speak for that version of myself either. But yeah, I without a doubt do like the people that I coach way more than I don't. And it's a significant part of where I'd experience a sense of enjoyment from, and therefore fulfillment from, when doing the job. It's nice for sure. And there, in my opinion, are definitely some people who, in my mind, stick out more than others in terms of personality because of the amount of enthusiasm that they show to the classes. And there, in my mind, is definitely one individual in particular who shows such a level of enthusiasm to do my classes, even though they've started doing my classes very recently, who I'm thinking of when I say that. It's so nice. So that individual, in my opinion, is so pleasant to teach because of my perception of their coachability, and also, again, their level of enthusiasm is just lovely. It's something to really enjoy. Plus, they seem like quite a nice person. At least when I'm speaking to them anyway, I do understand that people do have different sides to them. People might be putting on the front, people might be, or might act in completely different ways in different environments that I might not like. I do understand that, but at least within the gym environment. I do like their personality for sure. Definitely. But again, to go back to this session that I'm currently reviewing, I think very honestly, I could be getting way more out of the workouts that I do, especially because of how long they are. In my mind, I would use length of session as an indicator of how successful the sessions were, subjectively speaking. In other words, in my opinion, I'd use that as something that I'd want to do and as something that I'd consider an achievement if I went out of my way to do, or a failure if I hadn't done. For example, if I hadn't been in the gym for 2 hours, I might have considered that a failure. If I hadn't worked myself to a point where I started to feel tired, I might have considered that session a failure, when in reality it's just a session. The the opinion of me seeing such a session as a failure is no more than that. An opinion is subjective, but without explicitly clarifying that, it can seem like that is a fact, that my perception and my opinion of a topic or a situation is how the situation went, and it, in my mind, can seem like there is no other way that I could have perceived it to have gone. For example, if what I'm trying to say is, I could sometimes see opinion as fact and think that if I thought a session wasn't pleasant or was amazing, that is how it was, full stop, objectively, when that's not necessarily the case. It was just a session I did for X duration, and I did X, Y, Z lifts. I had X, Y, Z subvocal thoughts and visualizations, and factually speaking, that was what the session, or that's what happened in the session. But yeah, in terms of going deeper into fitness and exercises, I think I'd like to actually very consciously use my workouts, my physical workouts, as a means to test hypotheses, to test ideas that I could have been formulating in what I'll call the drawing board. The place where I go out my way to think deeper with my exercises. Now I think about it, can go out my way to coach or to coach myself through the learning with all of the resources I currently have and that are available online as well. I would go out my way to be careful with those, because you don't know how credible those sources of information are. I do have sources of information that I can use to refer to when questioning information that I wouldn't know is credible, or that I wasn't comfortable relying on due to, again, not knowing how credible such information was, whatever it may be. But yeah, there, in my opinion, is a lot more potential to the workouts that I'm actually allowing myself to go and have. For example, I could go out my way to test myself to do a workout that the gym might have running in it, and I could see how much I could test myself, and I could have the objective of being able to find X session for however long to be easy, or to be challenging to a point where I can do more, and I might do more, but I also enjoyed it. I could find out what does and doesn't work for me in terms of enjoyment. I can think about what does and doesn't work for me in terms of fulfillment. It's just so many different ways, or different ways of thinking that I could use training as an outlet to go in. What's the word? Express is the first word that comes to mind, but I don't think that's the word I'm looking for. To test out, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not the word I'm looking for, but that's what I'm trying to say. to this to discover. I don't know, but that is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So, I think it's up to me to go and know first of all what I be going out of my way to go and pursue beyond just wanting to lift X weight, like 100 kg deadlift, for example, but to go deeper than that, to allow myself to actually feel satisfied with what I do beyond just doing the transform your body, transform your life exercises. I've been going at that for hours on end, probably like 6 hours on and off, and I've liked it so much. And I don't regret doing that one bit, not one. And this is the level of investment that now I realize now I realize what I'm doing. It's a level of investment that I could also add into my exercise and whatever I do in order to actually enjoy what I'm doing and to achieve a level of satisfaction that I value, that I want to go out my way to consciously cultivate and create and build on. Yeah. In terms of what else I did in the session, I dropped my phone, and in dropping my phone, I met someone. I met someone with personal training qualifications that works in this gym, and this person has more qualifications than me at the moment. Not that I am trying to imply that I'm in competition with this individual, but they have gone up to a level 4 strength and conditioning. This individual has. And it did seem like they were over exaggerating when I dropped my phone, because it could have dropped quite far down. I'll just say it like that. And it seemed like the individual was more concerned for my phone than I was, because it does have hairline fractures all over the place at the moment, because I haven't recently changed the screen protector. It would look nice if I had, but it will do. I think it's the state of the phone is okay enough. The bank balance is £3.53. I don't have money set aside for a £10 screen protector. That's just not happening. Yeah, anyway, I thought this individual was putting up a front and over exaggerating when they were showing concern to my phone dropping fairly far down. But after speaking to this individual, I got to a point in the conversation where I'd learned a lot and have taken things that I might not have otherwise taken from elsewhere. I've had thoughts about being able to go elsewhere and know about more than my current situation in terms of where I'm working because of this individual, and I do feel thankful for that. And if I remember correctly, I did thank them for showing me said place, said company, I mean. And this person, they are seemingly quite the friendly individual, and in a genuine way as well. But man, do they talk a lot. It was just, my brain went into overload and I just stopped speaking. I just let them speak because I just found it difficult to take in all of the information that they were throwing at me. It was too much for my mind. But even through all of that, my perception of the conversation I had with this individual was not unpleasant. I actually liked it quite a bit, and I told them they may or may not have made a sale with their PT stuff. I might go back in there and get PT services from this individual. Maybe not. But yeah, they, in my mind, are definitely pleasant enough to go out my way to go and speak to again and to take their classes. It's a pleasant place, a high-end place, or at least compared to where I work anyway, but that's subjective, it's just my perception. It seems like the gym itself and the area, if I'm being very honest, is well kept and without a doubt not neglected. Far from that. And that is the sort of space that I myself would like to further pursue. With where I work, it is definitely at least somewhat kept. Like, there isn't dirt all over the floor, and the floors are fairly clean. But I just think I might have been so acclimatized to such an environment where I do work that I wouldn't view it in the same way, even though in terms of cleanliness on the streets, on the floor, is pretty much the same. But maybe it's to also do with how much care the personal trainers give toward their session, and also maybe just my perception of the area of this different place compared to where I work. I, in my mind, would think that the people might be more stingy with their money with in terms of where I work compared to said place. Maybe not, but I definitely do like the staff's attitudes, their attitudes to their job and what they do, that I do like and prefer for sure, because it subjectively in my mind seems like there's not much care for maintenance and growth. But factually speaking, my manager has gone out of their way to support me and to do that a lot. But I think it could be because of my perception of this individual's personality, that I think regardless of the several ways that they've gone out their way to help me, I still would prefer to be elsewhere and to be led by somebody else. The colleagues I work with, it's not the case at all. I do like them, at least for the most part. And same way with clients. But yeah, I think I'm in a space where mentally I'm not yet in a place where I have done everything I think that there is to do where I currently am working. But I am wanting to move on. I am wanting to go and to go and work in a more high-end space, or my perception of what would be a more high-end space, as I'd consider myself a high-end person, was thoughts that I've had in the past. I think I'm just, with that way of thinking, having a narcissistic view of my self-worth by going out my way to pursue high-end, what I consider to be high-end spaces, to then have that way of thinking. And although the bank balance being £3.53 might contradict that statement of being a high-end individual, honestly, the way of thinking of me considering myself to be a high-end individual and tying that to my sense of identity and self-worth is something I would actually like to get rid of. I'd like to dispose of that, because I'd rather have a sense of humility. Although I definitely am without a doubt not against pursuing luxury or what I'd consider to be high-end. It's not something that I have to overindulge in by attaching that word or that term high-end to my sense of my identity. Yeah. Anyway, I don't think I have much else to say in terms of the actual session itself. I definitely will be using the converging chest press. With the interaction of the personal trainer that I was speaking about earlier, I found that it seems like my left arm would come up. I think they said higher or lower than my right. I protract my left shoulder more than my right when just standing, taking my, as I would call it, body transformation photos. Not on purpose. I purposely go out my way to try and work on my posture, but it would be quite difficult. I find it quite difficult to see my left shoulder being protracted and my right shoulder being retracted in a way that I'd want, so that I have what I consider to be neutral posture, when that might not actually necessarily be the case. But yeah, quite a bit did happen. I met someone who I seem to have liked, but I might think differently later on. I don't mind though. They seem alright. So do other individuals that I've met in this gym, and I plan to keep going. One final note about the session though. I went into a place they called the studio, and I really liked how quiet it was. I found it difficult to actually do my exercises when it was loud with the radio on and things like that. But yeah, it's not the case as much. When I went out my way to go into the studio, and yeah, I think I just enjoyed that peace of mind, and that is something I'd actually want 24/7, that, or access to 24/7. That level of silence, a place where I can get my thoughts together and walk around and in a clean place do whatever I'd want to do, or think whatever I'd want to think, progress on whatever I'd want to progress on. I do have access to that part of the gym, so it's not like I don't have access to that for an amount, or for as long as would be beneficial to me. But yeah, it's definitely something that I can go out my way to go and consider and add into my workouts, just for peace of mind when I would go to the gym, go do what I do. But yeah, I think what I'd like to do is actually further plan out how I would go down what I call the world of fitness, and see where it takes me. See where I take myself with it. Just enjoy it, yeah. But anyway, I think I'll leave it at that, because I'm not actually talking about the session itself now. So cheers to making all this progress. Cheers to my phone not turning off mid-recording. Cheers to actually enjoying doing what I'm doing and finding a sense of satisfaction and therefore security within myself due to actually really liking what I'm doing. I'd be looking at what other people are doing when I wouldn't have this level of satisfaction I've gone out of my way to achieve today by focusing on answering questions with the Transform Your Body, Transform Your Life book. But yeah, I liked it, and I liked it a lot, and I plan to go out of my way to pursue this level of satisfaction and enjoyment from, as I say, going deeper. So that's something I'm going to keep on going out my way to go and do. On that note, I'm done, and cheers to being able to do what I love for another day. If today is my date of death, if I do die today, I can at least say that I've died doing what I love. Bye now.